Radio and Akfijunuba, Sudan.
This is a message of peace. We all are South Sudanese. It does not matter where anyone comes from. We need to respect each other and support each other because we are one. We all are human beings. As South Sudanese, we deserve to coexist peacefully, tolerate one another, reconcile all our differences, and live peacefully. This is a message of tolerance and peaceful coexistence brought to you by iRadio, your eye on South Sudan.
Welcome to the Sundown Show. On this show, we bring you the movers and shakers of South Sudan and the world over. We engage in debates and discussions that unearth the stories behind the news. And we have our light moments too by chit-chatting about issues that affect our day-to-day life. We stay right here on the Sundown. Join in and be part of the show on iRadio, your eye on South Sudan. The Sundown. For the news, views, opinion, debates, and discussions. Listen to who is who talking about issues that affect our country and continent. Only on the Sundown, your eye on South Sudan.
Hello and welcome to the Sundown Show on iRadio with me, Madrama James. Today is Friday, the 25th of April 2025. The program comes to you Monday to Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. for a comprehensive look at the daily events, the latest information, in-depth analysis, exclusive interviews, and exciting surprises. To be part of the show, call us on 0911-229-86986. Send for us a text message on 0913-986-986. If you can't access the radio, we are also on Facebook, X, YouTube, and more. You can also stream this broadcast live by logging to our website at www.iradio.org. Coming up. The Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security has received 404 tractors from the Ministry of Finance to boost agricultural productivity across the country.
And we delivered to them, and we also want them to be serious and committed so that we can start tangible work in this season.
Well, in the first hour, we will focus on how these tractors will help the farmers in the country. Is still to come. The government has notified civil servants and organized forces regarding the payment of the April 2025 salary as promised by the Ministry of Finance. All these and more coming to you in today's edition of the Sundown. Stay tuned, and I am your host, Madrama James.
Itabasma le radio Hagiga I radio en Takum fi Junub Sudan.
نعم نتكون في جنوب السودان مستمعين في كل محل. مرحبا بكم تعالوا في برنامج بتاع سانداون. معكم في تقديم أنا مدرمة جيمس. وفي يوم بتاع الليلة أنا بيبدأ برنامج بخبر الكويس بالذات تقريبا 104 تراكترز قسموا لناس بالضبط ناس وزارة agriculture يا ودي. Now نبدأ توالي برنامج to kickstart the show with some positive news. This evening the government has received a brand new fleet of tractors to support farming across the country. Well, the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security has received 104 tractors handed over by the Ministry of Finance. The goal to boost agricultural productivity and improve food security nationwide. At the handover ceremony yesterday, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Hussein Abdulbagi Akol, called on farmers to be serious and committed to this farming season. He said the government is hopeful that the new tractors will help jumpstart real progress in food production and even contribute to the country's economy recovery. The minister also mentioned plans to work more closely with farmers to increase food supply across the country. Let's hear what Minister Hussein Abdulbagi Akol had to say on SSBC yesterday.
and we delivered to them. And we also want them to be serious and committed so that we can start tangible work in this season. And now we're starting with 104 tractors with implements which are present with us in our hand now. I think we are going to start to boost the economic of this country. And this day is important for me and for my people in the Ministry of Agriculture and for all the farmers in the South Sudan, that we are going to start working with them closely so that we can boost the economic of this country, and we have to increase our productivity and food security.
Well, you have heard from Hussein Abdelbagi Akol, who is the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security in the country. Meanwhile, the Deputy Minister of Finance has reaffirmed the government's commitment to supporting agricultural activity. Let's hear from that Sabek George.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, and this is in line with the government priorities, which has been stimulated by our President, Excellency General Salva Kiir Mayardit, that our economy must be diversified. For us to diversify our economy, agriculture is one of the top priorities that should be given focus. In line of that, the Minister of Finance and Planning today decided to hand over tractors to the concerned ministry in order for them to start farming. Because for us to have a successful economy, that must be a food security in the country.
Well, Baker George Hanyaki is the Deputy Finance Minister in the Republic of South Sudan. The tractors were supplied by Adita International Company. A representative Deng Tongkwal acknowledged that there were financial challenges affecting the full delivery of the machines, but assured that the second phase will arrive very soon.
The company is asking the government for also to release the money which is remain also with the ministry and with the central bank. The contract was meant to be 1,000 tractors, but it has been justified to be 500 and 500 implements. Those 1,000 tractors were no implements. But with the discussion with the Ministry of Agriculture, we reached the contract will be 500 and 500 also implements and equipment of the tractors.
Well, you have heard from the company representative Deng Tongkwal right there. Now, while this is a welcome step, many farmers continue to raise concerns, especially about pest control, fuel shortages, and the lack of reliable markets for their produce. Earlier this month, the economic cluster approved a 62 billion South Sudanese pounds budget to support farming activities ahead of the rain season. Following that, the Deputy Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Lily Albino Akol, instructed all state governors and chief administrators to allocate 250,000 hectares of land each for farming. Meanwhile, civil society activist Edmond Yakani has welcomed the move and praised the government for taking these important steps to supporting local farmers. Let's hear more from Edmond Yakani.
I would like to take this opportunity to appreciate government positive response to our call we made through our advocacy for government to invest on agricultural sector. We have been made aware and publicly that through the Ministry of Finance and Planning, government was able to purchase 104 tractors for the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security for boosting agricultural production for this agricultural season for 2025. This is a remarkable action. This is walking the talk of what we have appealed for. And specifically, our appreciation and congratulations goes to His Excellency Vice President and the Chair of Economic Cluster for working the talk on agricultural investment, because during his swearing-in speech, he mentioned that under his leadership, under his cluster, the government will hold first National Agricultural Conference, which also we have called for before. And now we have seen walking the talk through the purchase of 104 tractors prior the holding of the first National Agricultural Conference. And we are aware that the National Agricultural Conference is intended to bring the actual farmers across the country to interact with the government for improvement of agricultural production in the country. Congratulations. This is a remarkable move. But we have the following observation to the attention of the leadership, His Excellency Vice President and the Chair of Economic Cluster, and to Honorable Minister of Agriculture. We have seen similar tractors purchased previously, and those tractors end up as a saga case, which is known as the tractors saga. We hope these 104 tractors will not end up in similar manner where we shall again have a second tractors saga. The distribution of these tractors should go to rightful owners of these tractors, not political leaders that will go and abuse these tractors. These tractors should have a proper monitoring system where individuals that are abusive of the tractors should be withdrawn from them. Tractors are meaningless if they don't have their complements. Tractors are meaningless if they don't have their spare parts. Tractors are meaningless if they're not given to the rightful owners. These tractors will be a wastage of public revenue if they are not put on action by rightful people in a rightful place, because some areas may not need to have this type of tractors. They may need to have a different types of tractors. We hope the distribution of these tractors will be in a transparent manner and in a less corrupt manner, because previously we have seen an intervention similar to this, and the intervention ending up in lack of transparency, corrupt, and end up as a saga. These tractors should not offer us a second tractors saga, Your Excellency Vice President for Economic Cluster and Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Food Security. As a civil society, our eyes will be watching on the distribution of these tractors, and our eyes will be watching on the use of these tractors by whoever will receive it. We are aware that these tractors may go to the states. We don't want to see previously practice where these tractors end up with politicians abused, and even some were already sold out in form of spare parts and are just packed without any explanation. And those ones were packed also because they are not brought as a complete complement of tractors for production. Tractors without complements, it is meaningless. We hope that these tractors have its complete set for agricultural production and for deployment, for producing food in the farms and given to a rightful farmers. As we are expecting, the first National Agricultural Conference will be held soon. We hope that the conference will end up with a transparent distribution of these tractors to rightful owners. As a civil society, we are watching the initiative of investing on agricultural production in the country. In a separate note, we would like to appreciate the Ministry of Trade and Industry for holding the first National Trade Forum, which we have seen how productive it was, and also it was a positive response to our appeal and to our calls and to our advocacy that the production sector in our country we need to invest on. We have wasted too much money for buying bullets and guns. It's now a right moment for us to use our money for buying tractors and seeds. So we must stop buying things that displace us from our own country to other countries as refugees, or from our villages to other villages as IDPs. It's a moment we need to buy things that make us attract people who are displaced as refugees back to the country from the foreign countries, and those who are displaced as IDPs back to the villages where they were born. It's a high time to stop investing on bullets and guns, it's a high time to invest on seeds and agricultural tools like tractors. Thank you very much.
Yes, it's high time now to invest on seeds but not bullet. A powerful message coming in from Edmond Yakani, who is the Executive Director for Community Empowerment Progress Organization, also known as SEPO. This has brought us to 20 minutes past the hour of that 4, and you are listening to The Sundown Show with me, Madrama James. Now pick that cell phone and call us on 091122986986. What do you think done to truly support, farmers in your community? As you have heard from Edmond Yakani, there was some other tractors back then distributed, but where are they? And what's your take on this latest development right here? For someone bitasana bodikum fursa shan kefi sharik mahanina raya bitak bedha bahalta bugul shino طبعا في 104 تراكترز جيجا قسموا في جنوب السودان كاكل وإدموني كان بقول ده ما أول مرة تراكترز بيجيبوا في جنوب السودان عشان جا سايدو بدم ناس دير كرجو لكن بعد مرات وصل وين تراكترز زل وين وشنو سبير باد وكلام تاب جاز بنزين وحاجات كتير فبدأت بمعنى شنو في تنمية الجديدة وكمان ناس بتنا تزرع بسايدو من كيف في خارية بتاكي هاي راديو
Madrama James.
أيوة
سؤال خير.
مساء النور.
Engineer Moses.
Engineer مرحبا.
Madrama James. طبعا هنا الجنوبيين أنا بعمل حاجة نمان بس ما كله في روادي كله. دول بعمل فلمندات ونين ما بعرف نين شاب جنوب السودان.
ما لدا قوانس كلام ده زيادة.
كلام أنا قاعد أقول كلام زيادة. ورئيس أنا ذات وسالفة كثير ميادي. أنا ما أعرف ده كان سنة 2000 ظاهرة سنة 2014. هل كانوا عمل تراكتر هل تراكتر قسم لولايات كله. هل تراكتر هو ناس ده. يا سؤال بتاعنا بس علاوي. هو ناس ده. كله ياو في ولايات ما يودر بطريقة تاني. الشعب ما بعرف أكاد أتلاقي على كلمة أوكي عليه لديه ومن قاعد يفكر بكلام ده agriculture من تلا 100 وحاجة قال لي ده agriculture أوكي فعلا ده من تخرج أسر من بدري في شهرين شهر واحد معلو كان ما عمل أساس من ده من أسر ده كلاس ناس جسنا ماتريال كان بكرة جاتت يا بعمل أساس من يوم 200 يعني بكون في ولايات كانت بعمل أساس من هنا في ولايات في 3 administration area كلام ده كلام أنا بقول قال ما بزول بعمل فرمان يا مدرما أجاد بوزر ده على التواتر أجاد 100 وحاجة ده من بوزر ده على التواتر كان رئيس تلا نمن بعدين أنت بقول إيش بس ده كلام ده أنا نينا قاري كلام كيرادي
أنا من جنيا سا إيه بمعنى إيه بمعنى حكومة كده ملشنا سان 104 تراكتر زل كده ما جاود درب نفسه سيكا
أنا كلامي هذا يا مدرما طبعا حكومة أنا داير كان بكون عنده ذهبته تكاس نمرنين كده أنا أقول حكومة أنا ده كده قسم تراكتر لجيش كان جيش بكون عنده فدان بتو عنده بكون عنده ينادى أجركاجة بتو كده قسم للناس جيش في ديفيشنات كله ده رسالة بتاعنا بوري لحكومة أنا ده
نعم
كده قسم تراكتر للناس جيش أي جيش بكون جواره بتو أنت باني
نعم
بيأكل الجيش في برا
شكرا جزيلا شكرا جزيلا انجينير موسيس وسات مشاركة هاي راديو
Hi, Radhi, how are you?
Tamam, community advisor in Medina Bor.
Yes. Let me take this golden opportunity to give a great thanks to the government of South Sudan and the partners who produce and distribute those products.
Go ahead.
What I know, we are looking for one person in South Sudan. A person who maintains the assets that brought from other countries. We have no that person. And if we have that person, our country will be full for assets which are brought from different countries to be maintained in South Sudan. Maintenance of assets is a problem in South Sudan. Now, I give a great thanks to them, and they will maintain it. And when I look to Uganda, they have a power at the government. They have burden at the government, and they use the prisoners in Uganda. If I went to Kenya, they do the same. When I go to America, they do the same. When I go to Khartoum, they do the same. Why South Sudan fail to utilize the manpower they have in the prison to cultivate? Why? They're supposed to use those people in the prison and to be their manpower, and that is to be their work. We have thousands of people in the prison, and they have no work. They're supposed to be used by the government to cultivate.
No, but someone will say we have tractors. Why would you allow people again to go and dig manually?
No, that is their punishment. They're supposed to be punished in that way. It's not to be kept in the prison, yet they cannot. And so they cannot bring work from out from the garden. So their work, those people is that. Let the government of South Sudan sit down and utilize the manpower we have. And let the government of South Sudan maintain those tractors now and forever. And it's not supposed to be given to the group of people who cannot go and maintain those machines. Those machines need care for good to be maintained in that. Now
Thank you.
We lack of a person who maintaining everything. Now we have roads, and road has cracked, and no one will maintain those.
Sure.
So let the government sit down and look for a person who's supposed to maintain for our resources. It's not to damage our resources, and we take it back to Uganda for a sale. It's not like that. We have a lot of cars who are kind of and take it back to Uganda.
All right.
Not good.
All right.
Let us maintain all those things, and we give a great thanks to those partners.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Community advisor from Bor.
Thank you. That was a community advisor from Bor. He's saying, one, tractors are so expensive to be maintained, and he raised also a concern of some of these prisoners or inmates that are idle and they are in need of food. Why can't government also use them to produce food and empower that's our economy? Thank you, community advisor. Now I would like to quickly respond to Engineer Moses. Engineer was like, the only issue or concern is the government tried their best to supply the tractors, but to him it is a little bit late. Now we heard from the company representative, that's Deng Tong, who supplied these tractors, that money was not available on time, and that's why they delayed, to hand over these tractors here. Thank you. Let's keep that conversation going right here on 0911-22986-986. Hi, Radio.
Hello?
You are engineer. Emmanuel Panadol. Helen.
Hello?
Yes, Panadol.
Aywa.
Marhab.
Ayeta koi?
Ma batal.
Alhamdulillah. Shukran jidan le hukuma pitana be kili walbo tala de kalam pita agriculture sibele pitana. Ijakan kan fi salam al gobi. Nas begin de geliba koi ta muhawa ba mabat. Ana mutaakid jian ma bi yafi belete. Lano we have fertile land. Bele pitana koi, pura pitana koi. Ijakan kan fi buat koi. Mafi hajatane gina de masakel. Mafi hajatane gina de jian. Mafi hajatane gina de ayan. Mafi hajatane gina de hajat al-khab kan ma bagir wasulu bisulu fi dun Sudan. Ija. Umon bonus bikalam de hagiga. Manu mo dilu tu fok. Manu ma bada tedina. Asa tedini sinar gwala. Yala ita on dilu tu fok. Terat algi jibude. wo jawo dile na munu kalam de ana bayino de bes jawo dile gabana di kule de hujara fito
bo dile to governor
ale gabana sana ay jede ni na bar tamam jage sumule gabana so gabana bo dile minister yatu ma bo sulu le mo ni le tede na ma
te basa ya mulishina shana tractor zel wasulu baru le muwatinin tete na zeta mba eta bugul
wahid kan bondera san kelu wasulu tamam le muwatinin fitana ma fi da jafti je fi mahalat alla fi nazgi farming tamam de da jafti je fi ye deridi Yambio, Eastern Equatoria, Masi part of Wow, Raja Enak, Finas, they are farming well. So, Yala Finas come out in the union, they are united together and the Umon Pata Jerahat Pitomo, a community, their community, the community, and the moving Sirin Nas. Nina defata jira pitana barao nina defata ala badide county tamam o county kanaro commissioner baro union dagde group dagde manato kan mofru be afa lo mon podino mon alla terete wahi asan beside mon nanu mon fi group yar masalan fi group mon mukin government gale mukin be jabe police nina bodile nasan fi group mukin kane inda kon mukin isirin fidan isirin fidan kane ta kon indu fi group ita kon wala hande tamandata fidan nina bodile ta on teretere de magal mukin de haga kon you can provide fuel it will provide fuel yala fuel de manatu teretere de bira kurju leta kon be kurji leta ko yala yom amantani biro de group tani then so de command the police al tamam case nina der command afanat biraba fijira be tiriga lakin kan be ka godi lejol wahi kan de to tabe o bagina zedi ga bamul su tayno so de haja dal nina ga no je be dirde ma haja de tere jabu fi yumisuna so wenumon I remember Sanin Deja to swing the horse alla high calcida fi Moulay, and then they come in territory, the Hamtua. Your horse can date, I have all I am among getting naturalized Yanumulu. So they had a Nina witness to Sufi Mona.
Haja Jeb Kalis, Shukran Kalis.
So Manatu is there. Kila police alana bonus there. Beginning from state to county to Boma, to Fayam to Boma. Actually, the un Rosul Guam de Modne. Like in Kanumon big still commission as Bara. Umon big actually governor. While others actually high country is enough.
All right. Shukran jazilan na wasan musharaka Emmanuel Panadol na odi fursa le Baginas Barwai Radio.
كلامك سامع ما دون فرصة كمان خلينا نونس ما هذا only 5 minutes we are trying to waiting
get them willing
yeah it doesn't miskin في جوبا أنا ده أقول كده صراحة حكومة كذا بدأ يفهم النوم لكن أنا قلت له ده زمن مناسب هنا نفهم فيش نوع حاصل بعد ما حياة ده يحصل من وكان ده بقى يجيبوا بضاعة ده بطريقة ما كويس تبين أمراض هو فكر إنه يجيب ترى لكن كده كان في ترى زي ما هو قانون واني والناس هو المهم خارج أنا ده وفوقه هذا يا ترى تقسيم بذا ترى ده هيكون ذاته كيفية ده واحد برضه يكون في نوع من المحسوبية يعني هي حاجة عندهم ما قاعد نمسك الحكومة بكرامة سنبلا نوع
نعم
أنت كمكاتب المجتمع أو أنت ولاية عندك هاي دارين تردد منك أنت إنتاج منك شنو أنت أنت يا تنوع تسيلة تساعد باقي المجتمعات مثلا تعويض فلوس في جوبا هنا ناس بيزرعوا كافة أنواع بتاع الخضروات في بارغزال هناك في نصرانية يزرعوا ذرة بأنواع بتاعه دخن سو كل ولاية دول يتكاتف ويتكافئ أنا متأكد هنا من كل حي جعان في بلد أجرمان لكن خليه يكون في رؤيه من قبل الحكومه وفي متابعه
نعم
من فوق لحد اخر وكيل.
شكرا جزيلا زول مسكين اي راديو.
مساء الخير اي راديو.
مساء النور.
انا كشف من سي او سي.
مرحبا.
انا بشكرك في الاستديو وبسلم الناس كله.
شكرا.
وبسلم كثير يعطيك كثير ماشي لايمان البنادول. كل في الاستديو انا بدي شكرا لوزاره الزراعه لوزير الزراعه حسين عبد الباقي. ده فكره كويس. لكن في فكره زي قبل كده كان في تراكتورات جابوا يكتب في نيكورين لما رئيس بارك ومن ركب في تراكتور واحد وقال لي خلاص كون زراعه كون في جنوب السودان كون كويس. التراكتورات ديل وزعهم للولايات 10 ولايات كله. لكن بعد تم التوزيع بتاعهم عجاده ما وصل في الولايات. عجاده فضل في جوبا هنا. ما بعرف زراعه في كونيا ولا زراعه في كاتور ولا زراعه في محل في بيوت انا ما بعرفه. عجاده ما وصل في ولايات او ولا وصل في كونتس. اصلا الدفعه تاعنا ده ربنا جاب تراكتورات دي جنوب السودان يكون في زراعه زي لان يكون زي يوغندا زي السودان وزي اثيوبيا جرجر تاندل. ده فكره كويس. لكن في حالتين موضوع الاول موضوع بتاع فساد زي ما كلمناه تراكتورات كان وصل لاسفل درجه في الولايه في كانتس عشان زراعه ما بزراعه بعمل في راس ولايه زراعه في التحت. يعني انت بتزرع في جوبا تطلع من جوبا ب 45 و 30 كيلو متر عشان تبدا تعمل زراعه فوقه. حاجه خليه وصل. نمره 2 الموضوع بتاع امني. ما في زراعه بعمله بدون امني، لان الزراعه انت زول ما تزرع في الزراعه ده انت ما عندك سلاح في يدك، انت بزرع بيدك اثنين، انت بتشيل ملوده انت بزرع بدون خوف. لكن انت بتزرع كيف الزمن ده تطلع من جوبا ب 30 كيلو تلقى حاجه ثانيه في جوجابا هنا.
نعم.
كويس. احنا دايرين انه خلي يكون في امن في البلد، خلي يكون في سلام. السلاح في الناس في منيومجي في جيجابيا في متيانغانيور في وين السلاح كله رجعوه في الموطن. ويكون في جيش واحد يكون في بوليس دور نال المزارع يمشي يزرع بتكتر بتاعه يزرع في يده. دور بعد سنتين او بعد سنه بكون لنا انتاج كويس ونكون زي يوغنديين. كويس؟ ده فكره ده يكون موجود. يعني الموضوع الامني الموضوع بتاع فساد. ترى هذا ما بيوتنا بيجوا هنا خليه وصل في تهل هناك وصل في تانك في بومل دور ما بيشتغلوا.
شكرا جزيلا وسن مشاركة. أنا أكيد رسالتك وصل هاي راديو.
أنا أول حاجة أنا بقول شكرا عليك هناك في الاستديو.
شكرا.
معك ماندي في غدير وين.
ماندي مرحبا.
أنا بقول موضوع بتاع تراترات الجيبو 104 ده أو ما بتاعه كويس. ده تقدم بتاع بلد سوكل براب ده. لكن أنا بقول حال تراترات ده ليندو مهندسين بتوع جاهز عشان بعدين ما يلقوا مشكلة. ده واحد. نمرة 2 أخوانا الزراعة هو يعمود بتاع البلد. أنا ما أعرف أننا بقى قوم من النوم ليه حاجات ده كان بدير من بداية ده حاجة كان ببدأ مو ياو الزراعة. ياو الزراعة كان في البلد أنا متأكد كل حاجة بيكون تمام. لكن أنا إنه الجنوبيين بعد كان بننزلت ياو بلد أصلا بقى مجاجة ما بننزلت. لكن أنا دير ترى بيستخدموا لناس التهدي ناس الفريق البلد هناك اللي دي ناس كلمة ناس تاكل مودي. أنا في المدينة هنا أنا متعاطف ما عندنا محلات اللي بيخرجوا فوق. ده واحد. نمرة 2 ترى ديل كلمة دي لجبنة لأنه جبنة ديل كانوا دي هم براو دوسوا هم عمل مسرور هم تكس ما بودي لناس اللي كان مفروض عشان بيجيبوا تلمية في البلد. أنا دير حاجات ديل كلنا كتب بالك شديد. وثانيا أجل نمرة 1 ثاني أمني ده نمبر 1 لأنه الزراعة ذاته برا ما أمني سوا لأنه أنا كمثيل ترى أنا أقول بمو هناك. أنا زود الزراعة أنا بنوم هناك عشان أنا بسالة بذور بتاعي أنا بنادفه ده أنا بكون ثابت وين مع الزراعة. لكن كان أمني ما في أنا متأكد الزراعة بتاعنا ده بكون ملكلك. شكرا سيدي.
شكرا جزيلا. نودي فرصة لمخالمة يلا بعدك أنا بيمشي توال في خاصة التجارية. أي راديو 0912-229-6 chance for one lucky call and then we will have a commercial break. Hi radio.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, you're talking to Kumbo for Zambia.
Kumbo, welcome on board.
Yeah, thank you for the program.
You're welcome.
I'd like to talk about the maintenance of the tractor. You see, this thing has happened before. Most of the tractors which they contributed before, it is just faded, and there was no one who was looking after. Now they are talking about distribution of another tractors. There should be a strategy and policies. For example, if the national government gives 10 tractors to Western Equatoria, now who will be responsible for its mechanic issues? Is it the national government or at the state level?
And who do you suggest supposed to take the responsibility?
Now it's the national government, the agreement between the national government and the state level. To know who will be responsible for it. Because now, if they just distribute it, now the state level will think if the spoil, they will think of thinking of national government repair and repair the tractors.
Yeah, right.
So that's why, because some people say it's very expensive to maintain. So there should be a budget at the state level or at the national level. Whenever a tractor has got problem, that budget will be revealed and to prepare the tractor with it. This is the first thing. And then the second thing is the issue of insecurity in some part of the countries. You know, these tractors need good roads or it needs good maintenance. Now, if the tractors move a distance.
Kumbo?
Yes?
Yes, you disappeared for some seconds here. Continue because of time here.
Okay, maybe it's a network problem.
Yeah.
I was talking about the security of the states, of some states. So which is a big challenge for us. Now I'm urging the government of South Sudan, at least agriculture is the background of the country. You see, for recent, now we heard about the toxin foods which they are brought from Uganda to South Sudan. You see? If South Sudan have that capacity to produce more foods, this will enable us not to go and buy foods which is not good for the consumption for human beings.
Sure.
So it's our role, it's the role of the government, it's our collective responsibility to produce more foods for our safety, for our health, and for the development of the country. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kumbo, for sharing your thought with us. Kumbo is so concerned about tractors maintenance and the distribution criteria. Otherwise, thank you for joining us on a Sundown show. I am your host, Madrama James, as we discuss the Ministry of Agriculture's announcement on receiving 104 tractors to help improve food security and boost agricultural productivity across South Sudan. Now, the question is, do you think access to tractors will make a real difference for farmers in your area? Share your thought with us on 0911022986 after this break.
Ministry of Health is conducting a commemoration of African Vaccination Week with a new vaccines introduction of measles, targeting all children aged between 6 to 59 months. Take your child to the nearest vaccination center during the African Vaccination Week or the Big Catch-up campaign.
Good morning, Mama Mary.
Good morning, Mama Gloria. Where are you coming from this morning?
I had taken Gloria to get vaccinated against measles at the health center. She was also vaccinated with other routine immunization vaccines at no cost. Is baby Mary already vaccinated?
Yes, she was vaccinated last month. Does she need to be vaccinated again?
Yes, she needs to be vaccinated with at least 2 doses of measles routine vaccines at both 9 months and 18 months to be fully protected.
Really? I just heard from afar that there will be vaccination campaign during the African Vaccination Week, but I was not keen enough to get the details.
You know, measles vaccine is effective in preventing against measles and deaths in infants and young children. A lot of children were not vaccinated with the second dose. Some even travel without being vaccinated. I wouldn't want to see any child get measles.
I didn't know that measles is that serious, that it can cause serious disease, complication, and even death to my child.
Yes, measles is a life-threatening disease caused by the measles virus. The signs are cold-like symptoms: fever, cough, running nose, red watery eyes. Children who survive may experience a weakened immune system and a rare but severe brain condition.
Weakened immune system and severe brain condition? That sounds scary. How can I protect my child from this dangerous disease?
The only way for your child to be safe is when your child and all children in your neighborhood are vaccinated with measles vaccine.
I will do that immediately. Where can I take my child for this vaccine? I hope it's not late.
No, you are not late. Measles vaccine and all the other routine vaccines are available at all health facilities and designated health centers in your areas. Tell all your neighbors with children between 6 months up to 59 months to be vaccinated.
I'm glad you told me. I will take my child immediately to the nearest vaccination center for measles vaccination.
Bring your child to the nearest health center and protect them from measles and vaccine-preventable diseases. A vaccination card will be given after and should be kept safely. Continue to breastfeed a child with measles and give the child nutritious food. This message is brought to you by the National Ministry of Health with support from WHO and UNICEF.
The Sundown, for the news, views, opinion, debates and discussions. Listen to who is who talking about issues that affect our country and continent. Only on the Sundown, your eye on South Sudan.
Yes, welcome back from the break. Indeed, you are on South Sudan. Now let me turn my focus to those who have taken their humble time to write to us via that's our Facebook page. I've got a couple of your messages right here. Iki is saying the previous years the government distributed tractors but it has not reached some other state. Now we need okay from the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security and another company who deliver tractors to look at a place for agriculture, not to distribute it to any other state anyhow. Thank you. Then we have a person who is calling himself the lecturer. Thank you also for saying hi. Ustaz Ken Deng Deng is saying hello, Madrama James, and all the listeners of iRadio within and outside South Sudan. He is watching us live from Lologo. Thank you, Ustaz Ken. Then we have Makwe Kai. Thank you also for reaching to us. Then we have Almas East is saying great news, but government should concentrate more on money issues, as everybody knows. Thank you, Lil Top. Thank you also for your thumbed. Then we have Mawien Mayomalwal. Thank you also for your thumbed. Now let me shift my focus and receive some of your calls on 091122986986 as the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security have announced that they have received 104 tractors to help improve food security and boost agricultural productivity across South Sudan. Do you think access to tractors will make a difference for farmers in your area? Hi, Radio.
Hello.
Naam. Hi, Radio.
Hi, Radio.
Marhab.
Kulu tamam.
Mabatal ze baramin jamiz radio.
Ana kala sana bongo sana dia. Kila la rezidu ya gigata. Lakini kama fikira de kwezi traktora da. Lakini hal hajat to kulu la normal alfa jabu alfi traktor hajat kulu nage. Bolodat ma fi halo wabe.
Naam, shukran jazilan. Hai Radio. 09 wide wala 22986 tamtakid threadel kulo lo baden jawa sawa bija jibo thager fi qarya bitake walet bedabta bugul shun nasma min Hai Radio.
Good evening, Madrama.
Good evening, Diang Deng.
Thank you, brother. I think it was 150.
It's 104 this time around.
100 and what?
4.
104 character. If it is used by somebody who wants to do something for the country, it will bring changes. But the doubt is, last time President gave 1,000. But that 1,000 have died. They got spoiled without contributing to our economy. That was a shocking behavior to our leaders. And they have been spoiled in the hand of governors and the commissioners. And if there's supposed to be accountability, those governors who took the tractors supposed to be held accountable for these misbehaviors over the national properties. Okay? Till now, those 1,000 tractors supposed to be reclaimed from those who took them because they have not used them. And if they have used them, if the 1,000 tractors would have really cultivated, until now, South Sudan would have not talked about hunger. That's one. Two, this 100 tractor, if the Minister of Agriculture want to use it, let them distribute it to state ministries of agriculture. Then the state ministries of agriculture have to have a farm, including the National Ministry of Agriculture. Let them have their own farm for Ministry of Agriculture. The only thing they use is that the tractors, they will use the tractor themselves as a ministry. They go and farm. If somebody, a group of farmers who have organized themselves and they want a tractor, they will write to the ministry. They will they put the fuel to the tractor. Tractor will go and cultivate for them, and tractor will come back and stand in the ministry. That is the only way if they want to take care of this 100 tractor. Otherwise, they will again go and use them individually. The governors will come and interfere on them and will take them to make them their only family properties. So I think let them come directly through Ministry of National Ministry to state ministry without even involving the governors. Because now, especially me, I don't like the behaviors of the governors in the state. They think that when they are brought to the state, they own all the state properties and they become king and lion. Some of them don't look at the people. And this is not good. Our president is trying to help, and the governors on the ground, they are not seeing. This is not good. We want national ministry this time to take this responsibility. In fact, it is good the nation from somebody who brought them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Diang Deng, Radio. نعم ديان دين بقول دي فكرة الكويس لكن دارو تراكتا زي بارو يوصلوا لهذه الناس اللي قاعد بخرجوا طبعا هما مشتيك عشان بودي حاجة كمان يلا باكر في هيدين بتاع ناس البس بسيداي راديو اي راديو
الخير والرحمة
مساء النور أستاذ سقاط
شكرا سلام عليكم وسلام لكل المستمعين متدون داون
شكرا
مدراما برنامج جبته يعني أنا بقول شكرا لإدارة بتاع راديو لكن تعرف ال 100 أو 104 في 10 ولايات أنا قاعد أشوف هنا شوية صعب لأنه الاستخدام بتاع التراكتور في جنوب السودان ما في لأنه الوزارة بتاع الزراعة لما تيجي في ولاية أنت بس عشان تجي في وزارة بقى هيكل بتاع التراكتور يعني تبقى واقف لكن ما كان مال ودو فوقه لأنه اللي كان جابوه في فترة الفات كانت شفتها مدراما ديل كان جابوه في وزارة ومن وزارة ودو في 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 حاجة في مقاطعات ومقاطعات ده مش استخدموا عايزول الجاري نقدر كانت كوميشنر ولا تمنو إيه بمشي أو إدارة المساعدة المحفظ بمشي بستخدم حاجات كان شخصي ما بستخدموه كان إنه يجي يساعد الناس فتاني ذاته بديل الناس بتدايفور ضمانات بمشي أنا قال يا بمشي برفع حاجات بزاف كثير شوف دي مهر بتاع الدولة والقاعدين كل ذاته تدي كعداد الدولة كان قالوا ده هنا ممكن يغير الوضع بتاع الإيكونومي في جنوب السودان والدور ده أنا كان شخصي أقول أنا قاعد أشوف إنه المساعدة بيجي فوقه عود كم وبيت ما في لأنه في الوزارة الزراعة كانت تجيب فوقه إنت ما بلقى ولا تراكتور واحد إنت بمشي هناك كان بساعد بالغاز أنت ولا هنا زمان ده عشان تلقى فرصة إلا تجري في وجه مبارك ذلك هذا بلقى تراكتور هناك تمشي تجري فوقه لكن لو كان الناس الجنوبيين عندهم ناشوناليتي في قلبه ومن بيشوف المهمة بتدولة في البساط لأنه كان في وزارة قاعد المواطن القدر هناك لقى شوية حاجة يمشي هناك يجيب 25 فدان وده يجي 10 فدان ما له بس يديله ورق يعمل بعد الابلكيشن بتاعه ويجي يديله ماله يمشي يشتغل معناته ناس بساط الإيكونومي في دولة لكن ناس بتاعنا استخدام ما في وأنا بقول لك هذا الدور ده يا جماعة خير بعدكم الكان انتوا خربتوا خلاص انتهى والجاي ده كده كليه يستخدموه ادي للمواطن الداير متاج بتراكتر عشان يمشي يساعد يشكل بيده وزول ثاني لما يمشي هناك يعمل نظافه في الزرع القروش بديله هناك معناته تساعد الدوله فوق فانما انه يكون ما يكون مديون كلمه يستخدموه كان جنوبين ما يستخدموه كان رايه الشخصيات بتاعهم البيجي بشروا بعد كده بمشي بعملوا ده بعلقوا مع ملابس فوقه بيشيلوا مكان برا بودي للناس بتتجاهل عشان يمشي يربى فوق بتاع ده ما دوله وده ما نشنال ديومنات ونس فوق فأنا إنه الناس خير بعده إن شاء الله.
شكرا جزيلا أخونا أقول يلا برضو في جنوب السودان كله عندنا 79 كاونتيات maana lo fi ndina tractors ونظام النسية هي كاونتي بيقدر لغوشنو واحد وبعدين بكون في زيادة طبعا دي دور tractors كله 104 maana lo هي كاونتي مثلا شيلو واحد ده بكون كم 79 tractors يلا باقي الفادو لي كاونتيات تانينا الكبار لسه بقدر شيلو بكون اتنين لو في نظام فشكرا كالي ساكودا كول ناخد مكالمة يلا بعدك توالي النبي يجي في نهاية بتا برنامج دي هاي راديو ناسما من هاي راديو
جميل
ايوه
مايكل في جوباتو
مايكل مرحبا
ايوه طبعا نينا بقول شكرا للحكومه بتاعنا لكن لما نيتا قاعد لو زول قاعد يقول لكن ده كويشن لزول الجاب كلامنا لو كلام عنده لكن معناه كليت عارفه طبعا ده حكومه واحده يا هو بقول يوم 24 انا بدافع قروش يا هو بقول انا بدافع 3 شهور في شهر 9 سنه الفات يا هو بقول انا بعمل لك كده ده نفس حكومه واحده الجاب تراكتات الجاب كرفو الف تراكا معناه ما عندنا فكرة تانية هنا بمشي فوقه ده نفس اليد لو قال علينا نجيبه thousand بتاع تراكتات أنينا بقول congratulation ده congratulation للحكومة بتاعنا لو جاء كرفو تاني وبيجيب حاجة تانية أنينا بقول yes congratulation ما في تاني.
شكرا كاليس ده أخونا مايكل في زمن بتاعنا شوف بذاب ناس منيا كتفوا في فيسبوك يلا بعدك أنا بوقفوا البرنامج جتوالي I've got couple of your messages right here. Now let me start with this. Badi Hassan is saying good evening I radio I think it will help. He is talking about the tractors. If they use it in a proper way, it will transform our country to a higher level. We have got Agustino Luis is saying good afternoon Madrama, I am watching you live from Wow. I pass my regards to everyone who is listening to iRadio at this particular moment, especially the regular callers across the nation, including you in the studio. Thank you. Besides that, we have one of our regular writers in the names of Gordon Ariak Maleki saying, good evening, iRadio. The president donated 100 tractors to all 10 states several years ago to enhance agriculture in the country. Unfortunately, the objective was not achieved due to mismanagement and misuse of these tractors. Some did not even reach certain states, and the majority were not distributed to genuine farmers. Now, based on our discussion, I would like to express my gratitude to the National Minister of Agriculture for this donation. I propose that these 104 tractors be allocated to all 79 counties to all 79 county commissioners. Thank you for your concern. Lastly, let's travel to Fashola and get it from that Warak Wata Nimo right there saying, good evening, iRadio. I am watching you live from Fashola County. The distribution of 104 tractors by the Ministry of Agriculture in South Sudan will not sufficiently address the national economy of the South Sudan. It's worth nothing that nothing that in 2015 President Kiir distributed 1,000 tractors across all 10 states and